Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So this is it, race number 2 of the Eastern European TCR here at Automotodrom Grobnik, and as I've already been saying, the weather is much nicer and we are getting ready for a fully dry race. It's going to be exciting, so let's actually get going immediately. We've got a couple of guys that we would like to be talking to. It's a reverse grid order from yesterday's race. Yesterday's race winner Martin Kadlecik actually drew number 6, so he's dropping down to 6th on the grid, and it is Niko Pulic, the local driver, then being promoted to pole position. Maybe let's see if we can have at least a few words from him. Of course, final checks, final preparations being done before we get going here. He will be joined on the front row by Franjo Dubreta, another of the local drivers. I think the checks might take a little longer, so let's keep going actually, because we have got Žarko Knego lining up 3rd here on row number 2. Let's see if we can get a few words with him. Žarko Knego, excuse me, I'm sorry. Žarko, hi. This weather is more what I imagine if someone says Croatia to me. How do you feel before this race?
Yeah, definitely that's the weather that we expect in Croatia in May, so this is something that people came, and we expect a good race.
People are actually watching us on the big screens around the track, so maybe you can say a few words in Croatian and say hi to them.
Evo, htio bih se zahvaliti svim posjetiteljima koji su došli, koji su odlučili podržati ovu utrku. Teška je velika organizacija, puno je ljudi iz Dubrovnik Racinga radilo na svemu ovome i hvala svima na dolasku.
Thank you so much, enjoy a good one. Žarko Knego, the local hero, alongside him Jiří Zbožínek in the Janík Motorsport liveried Hyundai Elantra, so it's 2 Elantras. And Žarko Knego, of course, enjoying, quite a lot of people watching. You can see that on the grandstands there in the VIP zone and everywhere around the track. Quite a great attendance actually here this weekend. Petr Čížek on row number 3, and we have got yesterday's race winner Martin Kadlecik all the way down in 6th. Well, I'm saying all the way down, but that's actually the smallest number that you can draw if you are about to decide how many positions you are going to be reversing. So Martin, hi. You did this already once this weekend from 6th to 1st, and you drew the lowest possible number that you could. So how do you feel before this race?
Yeah, I'm obviously lucky to have got the lowest number, so I'll try to do the same as yesterday, try to get a good start, get as many positions as possible in the first couple of laps, and then try to save the tires. It's gonna be warmer, so harder for the tires, so we need to keep them alive.
Thank you so much. Enjoy this race. So this is yesterday's race winner Martin Kadlecik, and also currently the championship leader, because yesterday it was the first race of the 2026 season. We have got a few more cars behind us on the grid, and they are about to commence the formation lap. So let's get going here in Croatia. And so we are underway onto the formation lap. We go 4.1 kilometer long racetrack. Everybody getting prepared for the racing action for the second time this weekend, and actually, as I also said, this season as well. So we have got local boys starting up ahead thanks to reverse grid order from yesterday's race results, but there are definitely quick drivers that will be wanting to come through the field from behind. As we mentioned, mostly yesterday's race winner Martin Kadlecik, but not only him, also yesterday's pole sitter Adam Koht, who was on course. Well, maybe it's easy to say was on course to score the victory. He was definitely leading the race, Adam Koht, but we are never going to know what would have happened if there was a fight between him and Martin Kadlecik, who was coming through the field. We were robbed of that opportunity yesterday. Maybe we get one today, because both of them will be coming through the field. Adam Koht, of course, has to come all the way from the back because he had technical issues yesterday. Half shaft broke on his car, and he was then forced to retire early on in the race from the race lead. So he's hoping for a better luck today. I managed to chat with him today. He was, as you know him, if you've ever seen Adam Koht, always smiling, always seemingly happy and in good mood when he's at the racetrack. So same for today. Let's see what he can show us in today's race. Niko Pulic on pole, alongside him Franjo Dubreta on the front row. Then it is Žarko Kniego and Jiří Zbožínek in third and fourth. Petr Čížek, he drove a beautiful race yesterday with some momentous overtakes. He will be hoping to show the similar sort of fashion in today's race as well. And Martin Kadlecik alongside him on row number 3. Bojan Milkovic in P7 and Luka Fabiancic in 8th. Robert Pravdic in 9th. Radim Adamek in 10th. And already mentioned Adam Koht at the back of the field in P11. Definitely going to be coming through. So we are making our way around the final corners, back onto the start and finish straight towards the grid. Let's get ready for this one. It's bound to be exciting. Niko Pulic staying on the other side of the track and only switching the lines very late on to stay where the grip is and actually avoid where dirt might be. It might be slightly trickier to actually start on the, well, from this view, theoretically inside line, but it's actually the outside line for the first corner. But this is not really where you pass through the start and finish straight. When you are driving on a normal lap, usually you want to stay on the other side. So it's a bit unusual that pole position is not where the best grip might be, which is only about to get things yet more exciting. The red lights are on and we are underway here at Grobnik with Niko Pulic pulling away from the grid. Everybody now jumping onto the pit wall to see the action, but it is Žarko Kniego coming through into the race lead, and also Petr Čížek making a beautiful start. Martin Kadlecik finds himself in the dirt, but managing to stay away from trouble. And he is now between the two. Yannick Motorsport Elantras, Jiří Zbožínek ahead, Adam Koht right behind. So great start by Adam Koht as well. And he is already together with his potentially biggest championship challenger for the season, Martin Kadlecik. Adam Koht already having a look around the outside of Martin, yesterday's race winner. As we are making our way out of sector number 1, Martin Kadlecik trying to defend by attacking another car, and that is Jiří Zbožínek. But of course, Jirka wants to fight for his own good result, but also, if possible, help his teammate. Martin Kadlecik sends it down the inside. Beautiful stuff by Martin, and he's through together with Adam Koht, who's managing to find yet more pace, and he's now finding himself on the grass. There was no space left. Martin Kadlecik staying, what is it, 4th? Actually 5th. And Adam Koht right behind him, now defending from his teammate, Jirka Zbožínek. Up ahead, we have got Žarko Kniego with Petr Čížek fighting for the race lead. We did not really manage to take a good look at them yet, as very exciting action was actually unraveling behind them. And Martin Kadlecik now coming through before Adam Koht catches up with him again, but he's using the slipstream. Look at that. 4 into the first corner. Everybody needs to be very careful. The pole sitter Nikop. Ooh, there's slight touch, maybe issues, and actually a slight mistake from who was that? Must have been Franjo Dubreta. In slight trouble, trying to stay away from it. Martin Kadlecik is through, and there is a slight touch which sends Franjo Dubreta drifting a little bit, and Adam Coate is through. And there is an issue for Franjo Dubreta because smoke is pouring off his rear left tire. It's stopped now. Maybe a little piece of bodywork was in touch with the tire, but isn't anymore, apparently. So we keep on going. We're on the second lap of the race with Knego leading from Petr Cížek. Is he still? I believe he is. When I'm trying to watch the other cameras as well. Dubreta no longer in third. Of course, we need to... Ooh, and this is Radim Adamek in trouble on the grass, making his way back onto the tarmac. So where are the race leaders? This isn't the race leader, but very well might eventually be. Who was that? Jirka Zbožinek. Yes, I believe it was, who overtook Franjo Dubreta. Yes, because Adam Coate is already further up the road. So Knego leading from Cížek. Knego has just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:30.3. He was some 0.7 of a second faster than Petr Cížek behind him. Both of them now trying to manage their own pace. Kadlecik third, and he is trying to catch up with the leaders, 1:30.7. So actually slower than Knego. But Martin Kadlecik was also fighting on the previous lap. Now he's in clean air and he can focus on his own lap times and cleanest of possible lines through the corners. And we've only done 4 minutes of the racing action, already pretty eventful. This is the erstwhile pole sitter Niko Pulic, currently fighting with Luka Fabiancic. So the local drivers also enjoying their moments in the sun and under the spotlight, being of course cheered on and supported from the grandstands. Friends and relatives of course present at the track for the home heroes. And Knego keeps on adding time to his gap over Petr Cížek. It's already 1.7 across the line, with Martin Kadlecik reeling them in. And Martin has just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:30.1. This is currently one of the closest fights on the track, with Niko Pulic up ahead and Luka Fabiancic right behind. But of course, gradually we're gonna have to switch our focus towards the front of the pack, because Martin Kadlecik is lapping really quickly. 33.1 in the opening sector, 28.7 in the second sector, so catching up rather quickly with second placed Petr Cížek. There you saw at the bottom of the screen Žarko Knego enjoying a bit more of a gap. Petr Cížek already coming under pressure from yesterday's race winner Martin Kadlecik. And we also want to watch the lap times of Adam Coate. He's still not on par with the lap times of Martin Kadlecik, so slightly slower actually, by about half a second on the previous lap. Martin Kadlecik now finding not only great pace but also great consistency. He did 1:30.1 on the previous lap, just like the lap before when he set the fastest lap of the race. And there they are, fight for second. But the Cížek made a beautiful move yesterday to actually finished second on the road, behind Martin. The two Czech drivers now enjoying a fight of their own. And around the final hairpin, so far Petr Cížek not really giving many opportunities to Martin. But now they are about to slipstream along the pit straight. Knego trying to pull away to build enough of a gap for later. 5 laps completed, 2.6 seconds. That's what Žárko has managed to build up until this point. And this is also beneficial for him because the second and third placed men are fighting each other. They cannot really focus now on good lap times. Tires being locked up here and there. And Petr Cížek making a slight mistake, opening the door on the inside. Martin Kadlecik will not need second invitations, and he is now through. So Petr opened the door and Martin simply decided that he's not going to wait. He's still got another task on his hands, and that would be, of course, to catch the race leader, Žárko Knego. Adam Koht also closing in, posing yet another threat. Along the back straight we go, Knego up ahead. It's still going to be a long race for the home hero, for Žárko Knego. And there he is. Car number 74. Leading the race. 2.4 seconds. That's what he had over the line. And he's got to stay consistent. He's got to keep some life in those tires. But that little black and yellow speck in his rearview mirror is probably going to get bigger and bigger every single lap. So first sector, 33.8 from Žárko, 33.3 from Martin Kadlecik. He's really flying, the young Czech driver. But of course, Žárko has got extra motivation on his home soil. And across the line we go again, with the main grandstand cheering on for their local. And look at that, this is the fight for third. In the meantime, Adam Kolt has already caught up with Petr Cížek. We have got then Jiří Zbožínek in fifth from Franjo Dubreta, and they are enjoying a fight of their own. And look at that. Franjo Dubreta all over the back end of the Elantra. It's a fight of generations when it comes to the car model, actually. And Franjo Dubreta sending it down the inside in front of the home fans. That was a nice one, and Franjo Dubreta actually steals fifth off the hands of Jiří Zbožínek, who's trying to stay together with him, had to cut across the curb quite dramatically. And Franjo Dubreta taking the fifth spot, to the cheers of the local fans. But would you just look ahead? Knego is already only less than half a second in front of Martin Kadlecik with 11 minutes on the clock. It's still going to be really difficult for Žarko. And I'm also checking the order between second and third, but let's switch back to the fight for the race lead, because it's already hotting up. There they are, Žarko Knego, already having his rearview mirrors completely full of the RS3 Audi, prepared by Aditis Racing Team. Žarko is already moving to defend, trying to take the defensive position, defensive line, into the hairpin, but Martin Kadlecik sends it down the inside from way back. What a move that was! So Martin Kadlecik decided really not to wait even 1 second. First opportunity that presented itself, and Martin Kadlecik immediately jumped for it. So the moment of surprise was on his side. Žarko was trying to defend. He took the middle line into the hairpin, and for a long time it appeared that Martin Kadlecik would probably stay on the outside, maybe try a switchback through the corner and line himself up to slipstream along the pit straight. But Martin had completely other ideas. He just sent it fully. Yes, Carlos Sainz would say, lick the stamp and send it. So Martin Kadlecik, just like yesterday, from 6th to 1st on the road. And what a move that was, with which he sealed the race lead for the moment. Žarko Knego still driving a very, very good race on his home soil. Behind them, it is still Petr Čížek in third, with Adam Kout not far behind, but also not quite close enough. He's of course carrying fresh new components on his front suspension, having snapped the axle yesterday, or the half shaft, as he was driving through the wet patch. The wheels just spun, and then when he gained traction again, gained adhesion on the drier stuff, the component simply failed. Half a second between him and Petr Čížek. The last time they went across the line. There's still time. Franjo Dubreta in 5th from Jiří Zbožínek. Niko Pulič, the erstwhile pole sitter, in 7th from Robert Pravdic in 8th. Then it's Bojan Milkovic, Luka Fabiančič and Radim Adamek. And there we go. Let's switch our focus to the fight for third. Petr Cížek still driving nicely. Trying to do a perfect line, be absolutely clean, and make no mistakes. I believe that he realized that if he can manage that tempo that he currently has, it is actually going to be quite difficult for Adam Koht to get ahead. Not the best of weekends for Adam Koht, the reigning champion. Five and a half minutes left. Let's check the lap times. 1:31.0, that's what Petr did on the previous lap. He's trying to, 1:32.1. So very similar pace to Knego ahead and of course to Adam Koht behind. 1:31.0 was his best lap of the race so far. But the lap times are already getting slower as the race progresses. And it's a bit of a yo-yo racing here, because in the first sector Adam was actually some 0.2 of a second faster. In the middle sector it was the other way around. Third sector pretty much nothing to choose from between these two drivers, but we had Franjo Dubreta in the pit lane, and that is a great deal of shame for the local driver Franjo Dubreta, who was doing a good race. He was 5th on the road. However, something isn't quite right now on his car probably, and that's why he had to enter the pits. Focusing a little further back, this is Robert Pravdic in P8. I also met the former series champion, the initial and first series champion from way back then, Milovan Vesnic. It was great to see him in the paddock as well, actually supporting Robert Pravdic. Robert now defending from Bojan Milkovic in the Honda Civic, number 701. There they are, coming across the line, slipstreaming together basically, and hard under braking into the first corner. It's a difficult one, but actually beautifully shaped, honestly speaking. The track really has got a very beautiful rhythm to it. So if you manage good rhythm, good lap times, good line, it's very enjoyable to drive around. Karlecik has already opened up more than a 3-second lead from Žarko Knego, but Žarko keeping it in second in his home race. Petr Cížek still defending third, and Adam Koht not really getting close enough to launch an attack. 2 minutes left on the clock. But the question is whether he even has some life left in his tires, whether he'll be able to launch something towards the end of the race. But Petr Cížek doing a really good pace and driving beautifully to stay on the podium. It would be a double podium weekend for Petr Cížek to begin the season with. but they're actually focusing on the Italian TCR this year as well. So next week, racing in Italy immediately. And that team going to Vallelunga. They've already raced in Imola. It's not uncommon for drivers to try their hand at various different championships of the TCR. So you will find familiar names if you also look elsewhere. Final minute has already begun with Martin Kadlecik about to enter the final lap of the race. And he is currently on course to score a double victory from the opening weekend of the season, which is something that I'm not even sure whether he thought was possible. I guess he thought that was possible, but the quali didn't really work out for the best. It was difficult changing conditions and actually only lowly P6 on the grid. But from that, he scored a victory, then drew number 6 yesterday on the podium to decide how many positions would be reversed for race number 2. Again, it was 6, which is actually the lowest number that you can pick. And now he's showing the same thing again, from 6th to 1st. Great pair of races by the Czech driver, crowned by a beautiful move on the local driver Žarko Knego. The time is already up, so just the final corners left. Let's say half a lap. Martin Kadlecik already avoiding curbs and driving cleanly. Simply not to risk any unnecessary drama. Now driving past his teammate and his team boss Radim Adamek. And the two Aditis Racing Audis are going to come across the line in the same shot. So this is going to be a nice moment for the team. Martin Kadlecik, just like yesterday, is on course to win it. So from 6th to 1st, yet again, Martin Kadlecik takes a victorious double at Automotodrom Grobnik, and he holds the championship lead firmly in his hand. Cheers and happiness for all the local fans, because it is Žarko Knego coming home across the line in beautiful second place. What a race it was by Žarko Knego. I believe this will definitely deserve wonderful celebration. And it is Petr Čížek making it 2 out of 2 in terms of podium finishes from the opening weekend of the season. So Petr Čížek coming across the line in 3rd. Adam Kout did what he could, but in the end didn't really find enough of a pace to fight with Petr Čížek. He came all the way from the back of the field, but ends up just under the rostrum. Adam Kout 4th on the road to commence and open his points tally of the season. Of course, together with a couple of points for the qualifying success, but no points yesterday as he had to retire the car. 4th place today. And his teammate Jiří Zbožínek following him on the road in P5. The pole sitter Niko Pulic in 6th on his home track from Robert Pravdic, Bojan Milkovic, Radim Adamek, Franjo Dubreta, who had to enter the pits, and Luka Fabiancic in 11th. I must say it has been a wonderful and exciting day of racing action here at Grobnik. So far, all of the races have really lived up to the expectations and rewarded the fans who are either personally on the track or watching the YouTube live stream with beautiful on-track action. Martin Kadlecik definitely in that group of guys who created entertainment and exciting maneuvers, because his dicey move down the inside from so far back into the race lead, that was really, really a good one. So let's actually see the highlights once again, and that will be it for the opening round of the Eastern European TCR. And after the lunch break, we will be back with more.